Welcome back to Everything and the Gym. I'm your host, Shelby, and I have another special guest with us. What is your name?
Michael Vercher.
All right, and how old are you?
I am 33.
33.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you feel old?
I don't feel old. It's funny because people are always really shocked. They're like, they either think, oh, you look 33, or they're like, especially if like my face is shaved, they're like, you're 33. And then especially when I tell them like I have 3 kids, they're like, oh my gosh, you have 3 kids. So I don't feel old. In fact, I feel like probably like Peter Pan. My wife is like, you got Peter, like I do. I feel like I'm way too young to be in my body. Like I feel like I should be like 15 sometimes. I have a 13-year-old and we get along really well. So.
Do you sprinkle magic everywhere you
Everywhere I go, I try to, you know.
Yeah. Do you have a Tinkerbell?
No, I don't. Actually, yeah, I do. I have a 6-year-old and she's pretty Tinkerbelly. So.
Wow, plenty of pixie dust.
Lots, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so what do you do?
So I am in the oil field. I just got into the oil field last August, September. Before then, I was in the military. I did 7 years in the Army and then 2 years in the Air Force. And then I got out. I had a college degree from one I was in. I got it from Angelo State. Decided, I'm just not going to use it. Then I started working in the oil field, good money, and the schedule's awesome for right now in my life, and it's real nice to see the kids, and so it's good.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's good.
I guess to answer the question even better, in the oil field, I'm an automation technician, so I'm not sitting there swinging wrenches and like drilling and stuff.
Yeah.
I sit in my truck on a computer and just make sure things work.
My brother-in-law is an automated technician.
Really? What company does he work for?
Prime.
Prime. Okay. Yeah, I work for Vital. So
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and then my husband works for Medallion.
Okay. Yep. I know. I work with Medallion all the time. Yeah.
He
Cool deal.
is. He does like control room stuff.
Okay.
So
Yeah. See, another smart. Those are the good oil field jobs. The ones where you're home every night making good money and.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for
Do you
him.
have to commute to work?
Yeah, I work at a Big Spring in like Garden City area.
Yeah.
So yeah, like literally, like there's a Medallion headquarters.
that's where.
Okay, I pass
you
by
my
it
husband.
every day on the way to work and back from work. So yeah, I work at a Garden City right now. I was in Big Spring for a while, but they moved me down there, so it's not bad.
So why do you live in San Angelo?
That's a very good question. I was a military brat, so my dad got stationed here, and then we moved away when I was like 14, 15, whatever, freshman, 15-ish, to Key West, Florida. He got out of the military, and then so it was just kind of like one of those things, and then his new job, they were going to be moving us to Virginia, and I was like, I don't know anybody in Virginia. I was 3 months away from graduating, like my senior year. I was like, I am not moving somewhere else. It wasn't an option to stay there, and so they were like, well, you kind of grew up here, in San Angelo. Like, I still had friends, kept in touch with, like, MySpace and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, you know what? Like, they were like, we could move back there. Like, your grandpa lives there. Like, we have some family. Like, and I was like, well, let's do that. Can we do that? And so me, my mom, and my sister moved down here, and I went to Central for all of 2 months. And then I was like, I guess I'll go to college, So I started college. And then my girlfriend, then wife, now wife, I should say, not then, we ended up getting pregnant super early, and so I dropped out of college and joined the military. So, but that's why we're here. I ended up here because it was like I either moved to Virginia, or I can at least graduate with people that I know, kind of, sort of, So I've been here ever since.
Being in the military, though, that didn't allow you to stay here?
No, I was in North Carolina. So I was stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And then we moved back here my unit was in Austin and Camp Mabry, so it was just kind of like, I just drove there, but my wife, her family and everything is from Fort Stockton, her aunt is here, like her mom's, so it was just it just made sense for them, then at the time, my first son and my wife, to stay here, because family support, and so I just kind of would go off, do the military thing, when I could come home, I'd come home, and then eventually I switched over to the National Guard, so it was just 1 weekend a month, so that was much better, and then I just kind of did that, so.
Are you still in the National Guard?
No, if we go to war tomorrow, yes. I mean, I have like reserve time, so like IRR is what it's called. Couldn't tell you what it stands for off the top of my head. But yeah, if we go into war, they'll be like, hey dude, come on back, but not anymore. I'm out, grew my hair out, I was like, I'm done, not shaving again, so yeah.
Okay, so did your dad being in military, did that kind of in your head, was that like, okay, I can go do this because he did this?
Actually, I would say probably no. I actually was like, I'm not doing the military at all. I was into choir and music. I was on the drum line in high school. I did sports. I ran track. I did gymnastics. I swam. Like the whole night. I was like, I am not doing the military.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, like I literally, that was like my second thought. Like my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, dude, like I'm pregnant. And I was like, okay. And then my first thought was like, what are we gonna do? And she said, we're gonna figure it out. I said, okay. And my second thought was like, I guess I gotta like find a job. And then it was like a military, I guess, like, cause I guess kind of sort of in the back of my mind, I was like, I know that life and I know that it's at least stable. And I was thinking about like health insurance and like 1st and the 15th, at least getting a paycheck, and so it was just kind of like, it made sense, especially with me. I've always been pretty physically active. And so it was like, the physicality side of it wasn't an issue. So I was like, my dad yelled at me growing up because he was in the military. I'm used to kind of getting yelled at. I was in Boy Scouts. Like it kind of just was like, all right, let's do it,
Yeah. So you kind of excited me earlier.
Yeah.
Because you said you were in gymnastics.
Yeah.
I grew up doing gymnastics, and I haven't had anybody on the podcast
Really?
that was
Nice. What was
ever-
your events?
I did all 4 bars, beam, vault,
Nice.
and floor.
Good.
And
All around.
I did it competitively from like the age of 9 and a half, 10 until I was like 14 or 15ish, and then I coached for
That's awesome.
like 8 years after.
I think gymnastics is like bar none. If you have a kiddo, like the best thing you can put them on, even if they're gonna play football and stuff, like the body awareness, like just the strength, like the muscles that develop and stuff. Like if for a girl, dancing, cheer, volleyball, basketball, whatever you want to do. The dudes, football, like I think it's great. And I did it. I was 7th and 8th grade here in San Angelo, and then I made the varsity team my freshman year, and then we moved away. Like right at the end of the season. So in Key West, they had a private gym, so I was able to tumble, and like they had some rings in the back, so I was able to continue to work on my rings. But after like my freshman year, like it got to where they shut that gym down, and we had to drive up to Miami for me to continue. So like I kind of just started like I would tumble, and then like that was it, and like it just kind of faded. And it was like really made me sad. Like it's something that I wish that I could have continued, like especially further on. I was really good at it, like I loved it. So.
Can you still do tricks and flips?
No, so I mean, I could do like a round. I could probably, with enough like courage, I could do like probably like a round off back handspring. I have not in a very long time, but I cartwheel and do round offs with my daughter and stuff like that. And so like, I mean, I'm on the trampoline. I can do all sorts of flips and stuff. But on the ground, I feel like I would probably break myself.
It scares me to
It's
death.
scary to go, and it never was scary. But like now, like I did a round off the other day with my daughter, and I was trying to show her like, like you want some pop in there, and like I went a little too high, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, and it was scary, and I was like, oh my, like that's not a comfortable feeling anymore. So
yeah, it's crazy. Like once you stop, it kind of like goes away.
it's
from
very
you.
much a muscle that has to be worked, because it's like your skill, and then also like you're fighting the fear of like this could go really bad.
Yeah. I have to ask, what was your training like when you were in gymnastics?
So it was, I don't know if you know anything about like the program here. I'm pretty sure his name's Coach Kern Arrett. I think he still coaches here. Little short dude, just jacked. And he was old school. Like you go, like I remember like the camp, for instance, started the day, like the Monday after school ended during the summer. And you had to show up every single day. You were allowed to miss like 3 days, or you didn't make the team. And it was just like very calisthenic heavy, like lots of push-ups, sit-ups, body weight stuff, and then just like lots of pull-ups, lots of holding exercises. And then towards the end, like you'd start to lift weights towards the end of the summer. And that's how it was all year round. Like if you were in, especially like if you were in gymnastics off season, you just lifted. Like you would, like he had us doing like tons of like now that like I'm older and I'm into like working out in the gym and everything, very much like bodybuilder style, which makes sense. You want to strengthen the muscles while also strengthening the tendons and stuff, and kind of keeps you safe. And so, but like, I mean, I think I would probably like 100+ pull-ups a day. Like your arms are just so sore. I remember waking up one day and being like, oh my gosh, I have a bicep. Like, what is this? So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, very intensive, just like very hard. I remember going home and like my hands being just like blistered and like covering them in Vaseline with like a sock just to go to sleep, just from the bars and from lifting. It was a lot.
It's funny you say the sock thing too, because we, kind of like you, I was in the gym all the time as a child. It was like, 4 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, doing
Especially if it's competitive,
crazy stuff.
Just all the time.
But yeah, I would leave and my hands would be jacked sometimes, like bloody, blisters, and they told us to go get bag balm. Do you know what bag balm is? So it is, you can find it in any pet like aisle, so Walmart in like the pet aisle.
Stuff.
It's for cow udders.
Oh, to like keep them from getting raw or something?
Yeah, so like whenever I guess whenever cows get milked, they get blisters
I can imagine,
and whatnot, and so like they put that stuff on there, but we would put it on our hands and then put a sock on over at night to sleep, and then you wake up and your hands are like...
Interesting. I wish I would have known that. I just covered them in Vaseline and was like, ugh.
It's weird.
Yeah,
to go to
and
sleep
does it
like
smell
that.
funny? I feel like that sounds...
It's like yellow.
Yeah, I feel like I remember smelling it for some reason.
It's got a distinct smell to it.
Yeah, I'm sure there was somebody on the team that was like...
Yeah. So, does a lot of those gymnastics workouts come out in like your workouts now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've always been very like upper body strong, and so like now like I start every workout with like 25 to 30 pull-ups just to kind of get things going. I do a lot of like upper body like pulling and holding motions and stuff like that. I really try to develop it. I do a lot of Spartan races. I shouldn't say a lot. This last year I did a lot. So a lot of that was like upper body intensive, and so I just kind of try to throw it in, and because I did it when I was younger. It's all like, oh well, hey, I know exactly. Let me do this pull-up variation, or let me do like this style, and I feel like it helps. So.
Yeah. Okay, so you did gymnastics. Were any of the other sports you played, did you have to dedicate as much time to those?
Yeah, swimming for sure. I did swimming all through high school. I did varsity. I was in Key West, so like we would drive it to like Miami, and we compete against all those schools. And so like I was pretty good. I made it to states my sophomore year. Didn't do well in states, but hey, I made it, right? But no, yeah, I had to. I mean, every morning, 5 a.m. Like that was because I also at the end of the day had band practice. So it was like if I wanted to do both, I had to do both. And so I had a buddy that he'd pick me up in his car. He was a junior, and we would drive to practice every morning, and like it was. You go all day smelling like chlorine and just kind of have to deal with it. And that actually translates now too as well. Like I swim at ASU. I try to swim like once or twice a week. I'm training for like a triathlon and stuff like that. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
But yes, so yeah, I mean, I had to dedicate a lot of time, and especially because I enjoyed it and I wanted to be competitive in it, and I was trying to be good at it. It was like the first sport that I was like, let's do this. So yeah, for sure.
That's so cool. Okay, so you go through those sports, you graduate, and you go. Went to college for just
Yeah,
a
I went
bit.
to
Did
Angelo
you do
State.
any kind of like fitness stuff in college?
No, so that's why I feel like I really dropped the ball. I thought I was a little hood rat is what happened, right? I thought that's what it was. I thought I was a little gangster, and so like I was too cool for school. And I wish that I could go back. Not actually, I guess you don't, but because life probably would have been a little different if I was playing a sport. Maybe I wouldn't have met my wife and the whole, but whatever. But no, I just was like, nah. I'm done. And because like I was the only when I moved back here, I went and talked to the gymnastics coach, and I was like, hey dude, like it's my senior year, like I'm used to doing XYZ, like can I come work out? And he was like, yeah, you can come practice with the varsity until you graduate. And so every day I'd go and I'd work out with them, and at least like get to work out, and like I started working on my ring skills again and my P-bar skills again. And then like I talked to the swim coach too as well, and I was like, can I come swim? And so I got to swim a few times with him and the team and stuff like that. And my friends didn't. They weren't into it, the ones that were here.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, I remember the last 2 periods of the day after gymnastics were home periods. And so I would go to that's when I started working out. I would go to the YMCA downtown. And so it kind of just transitioned away to where I was like, oh, I like the gym, and I'm putting in all this effort and I'm not going to do anything with it. And so when I got to college, I just was like, nah, I'm good, which I do regret. I wish I would have kept those skills sharp at least, Who knows what doors could have opened even just going down the same path that I went down, so. Yeah. But I wish I would have.
Did you lose a lot of muscle?
No, so I've always been I've always been pretty thin. Like I think I graduated high school like maybe $115, $120, and so I was like, that's why I enjoyed lifting weights, and I started going to the gym because I was like, man, I'm trying to get, I want to get bigger. I'm tired of being the small guy. And then when I stopped and I went through my little hood rat phase, oh yeah, I was like, I wasn't unhealthy. I wasn't doing anything unhealthy, but I just was not being fit or active or healthy in that lifestyle, you know. And so I was like, I have like pictures of me, and you can just see like my abs, and they're just skinny abs. They're not like developed abs, you know. But I definitely lost. I think I joined the military at like 125 pounds, maybe, little bitty thing, like barely. Like it was tough, but then I put on a bunch of weight. But yeah, I was tiny in college.
What do you weigh now?
I weigh 189 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was 198 like last month, but I kind of was like, I'm not gonna eat fast food for a little bit. Kind of reeled it in a little. I wasn't trying to lose weight. I was just trying to lose the belly that was forming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I would love to be like 205, but like 12% body fat, which I mean that's the goal. You know, right? I mean, so
it's a slow build.
it's a slow build, you know, and it's tough. I mean, I have kids, and you know, I work and stuff, and so like I'm not super concerned about like my body composition. But obviously, like, I'd like to look good with my shirt off, you know? It's cool to be at the beach with the kiddos and be like, dang, look at that, Dad. So, I mean, I try to reel it in when I can, and I set, like, little goals for myself, like, okay, no soda, you know, unless we're out to eat dinner with, like, a group of people, like, it's like a celebration for, like, 30 days or, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay, so you go military. What kind of changes, was it hard for your body to change from, like, being not as active to like military active?
So thankfully I had a buddy that he was like, oh, you're gonna join the military? I want to join the military too. He ended up not joining the military, but like a good solid 2.5, 3 months before I was supposed to leave for basic, like I really tried. I mean, I was doing push-ups and sit-ups, and I would go run around the block, and like I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm breathing all hard, and I would go to the gym here and there, which is funny that like I could have just gone, and it was like the last thing on my mind kind of thing. But yeah, I went in, and I was a special forces recruit. So it was a little bit harder of like a basic training and stuff. And I mean, it was quite the culture shock. But I mean, I will say like halfway through, it kind of like my body was like, hey, we can do this. Like we've been there. And then like I was able to, I excelled. But man, yeah, it was tough. It was definitely like, what did you do? Like, why did you sign up for this?
Yeah.
It was real tough.
I can imagine. So I'm assuming you had to keep form, shape while you were in military.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Always trying to be bigger, faster, stronger. You know, especially like you get like these young kids that would come in and they're huge, and you're like, bro, when I was 22, like why, like how do you look this way? And so like I had to then, you know, ideally, or not ideally, but potentially I have to carry them. You know, if something happened, like I have to be able to carry this 225-pound guy with a full kit on, you know, like.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, you're always bigger, faster, stronger, you know, whatever you can do to get bigger, faster, stronger, like safely, like get there, do it. Like injuries, don't be a weenie, like take some medicine and keep rolling, you know, so.
Okay, so going from this part of your life and everything that we've talked about, do you have anything you want to add to any of that?
No, it's a lot. I'm a rambler too. If you let me, I'll ramble. I'll just keep going, and you'll be like, man, we are at 3 hours, dude.
I'm a talker too.
Okay, cool, awesome.
But I am going to cut to commercial break. So we will be back soon, and we will wrap up some more.
Awesome.
All right.
What would you do with an extra 60 minutes in your day? Do you go for a walk? Do you pick up the weights? Maybe you even help a friend. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. Here at Fitness 1440, we believe in making every minute count. Spend some of those minutes here with us on our turf zone, in our free weights area, the cold plunge, the sauna, and personalized small group fit classes because we are open 24/7. Fitness 1440 is family owned, which means you are giving back to the San Angelo community when you spend time with us. Our members are like family here, and we take pride in our cleanliness. Use code 1445 to receive your first month free and join the Fitness 1440 community today. That's 1440 FIBES. And don't forget to make every minute count.
And we're back. So we talked about all of that. So now, you did spark my interest earlier because you said Spartan race.
Mm-hmm.
How many Spartan races have you ran?
So Adventure races total, I'm going to ramble, sorry. So I've done 2 Savage races, which are like a smaller Spartan race, and that's kind of what got me like wanting to do it. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I did a Tough Mudder, their biggest one. It's like a 13K. Me and my buddies did it, and it was really fun. And so we're like, next year we want to do a Spartan trifecta, which is where you do all 3 of the races just in a calendar year. And so we couldn't make it work over the calendar year. But we found a weekend in Dallas that has all of them. Oh. So we did a 6K, or the first day we did it's called the Spartan Beast. It's a half marathon. So we did that. Second day we did the 10K, and we did the 6K, or the 3K, the small one, the sprint. Mm-hmm. So we did all of them in one weekend. So I've done 3 Spartan races, and then, or 4, because just 2 weekends ago I did the Beast, which is their middle one. Mm-hmm. So 4 total. I really like them. They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Do you train specifically for them? No.
I don't train specifically for anything, and I have 2 buddies that I do a lot of stuff with, and they're very much like, if they're doing a marathon, it's marathon training. If like right now we're training for a triathlon, and they're like sticking to it, and I drive them crazy because I'm the kind of guy, like I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I Spartan race, okay, cool. Maybe I'll throw in an extra run. Like I run, I bike, I swim, I lift, like pretty regularly. I do jujitsu. Like I stay pretty active. And so my thought is like, if I can't do that in my current state, then I probably don't need to be doing it. Like I'm not gonna dedicate, and I'm also not trying to be competitive in any of those things. So I'm not gonna dedicate time to doing something and then have other things suffer, like my strength or my physicality or like my agility, like whatever it may be. So I don't really train. I show up, and it's always more of a challenge. Like, can I finish it? Like, yeah, I'll finish it. Like, that's all I care about. So.
What is the hardest obstacle that you have done?
Oh, and this is across the board on all the adventure races, because I've done a few different ones, and there's one that the Spartan race has that's like this like rotating like monkey bar type thing, and so you have to like really hold it, because it's when you go to reach, it's going to rotate. And so as you're reaching, it's swinging, and so you're trying to counterbalance that. That's probably the hardest one. I can't tell you what it's called, but that one's pretty tough. That was harder than some of the other ones and the other races and stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel dead when you get done with them, or are you pretty Peter Pan-ish? I'm very like high energy. It takes a lot. Like I could even like after I ran a half marathon that same year I did those Spartan races, and like afterwards, like about an hour afterwards, I was like, all right, like let's go, like let's do it. I feel like I recover pretty quick, but I also take care of my body. But after all 3 of those Spartan races, thankfully I had asked off the Monday afterwards, because I had a feeling my feet were like tore up, my ankles. Because you're crawling, you're swinging, you're climbing, so like you have bruises and cuts and stuff, and then also you're sore and your muscles hurt, and then like your bones hurt from like, and it's tough. So yeah, I was pretty beat up. I took that whole week off, deload week, just chill, and I would too. I can't imagine how many calories you burn. Like,
I can tell you. I'm a Garmin guy, so like I track everything, and it's probably unhealthy, but I track my sleep. I track every workout. I have a heart rate monitor, like the whole 9 yards, and so I think I burned like 1,200 calories in like 45 minutes, and then because it stopped. Yeah. And then the second one was like close to like another 2,000. I think the whole race was like 3,200. I could probably pull it up. It was like 3,200 calories or something like that. And my buddy, I think he was closer to 4,000, like almost there. He's a bigger guy, and so he obviously, you need more energy. But it's a lot. You're pretty dead after like a half marathon with all of like, I think it's 26 obstacles. It was tough. I may be completely exaggerating, but it's like fish stories. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was up there. It was a lot. If
you could go back and find it, I can pop it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll find it and I'll send it to you, and we can be like,
yeah.
I know the date, so I can just look back on my Garmin and show it to you. So that's what I'll do.
Are you trained? Obviously, you don't like train for those things, but do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, I have a triathlon that I'm doing August 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that. First weekend in August. It's in Lubbock, and it's an Olympic, so it's not the long one. It's like a 0.95 mile swim, so like I think it's like 1,400 meter swim, an 18-mile bike, and then a 6-mile run. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. And the whole like 3 different modalities is tough. And like I haven't yet to do 1, 2, 3. I've done like a bike and a run, I've done a swim and a bike, but I've yet to do like 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do that.
I'd be interested to know how you felt like
After, yeah. I'm curious too, because it sounds so good. Like I'll swim and I'll jump on the bike and I'm like, oh, this is fine. But then I think like when I got home, I was pretty tired. And then it's like to think that I had to get off and then run. And I also have not done any the swim distance. I do that all the time, so like that's fine. I've yet to be able to go on a longer than a 12-mile bike ride just because I had to get new tires and then all this rain recently and stuff like that. So it's just I keep only hitting like 9s and 10s and like shorter distances. So we'll see. And then runs, like I'll usually run like 3 miles every weekend, kind of just keep the knees working, just make sure I'm not old.
So what does your workout schedule look like? Because you're everywhere.
Yeah, so thankfully I just took the last like week and a half-ish off. I had a wedding last weekend. Before that I had like a bunch of family stuff going on, so like I kind of was able to, I squeezed in a few workouts here and there, but I don't really call them, like I worked out in the hotel and like before the wedding, but I usually work out Monday through Friday. I'm usually in here 1440 at like, I was doing 8 o'clock at night, 8 to 8:30, but what was happening is I was getting my youngest down, and then I was like, all right, babe, I love you, see you later. And it was like, man, like I'm not even spending any time with my wife and I, we're not watching shows together, like, and so it was like, man, you know what, like I'm gonna kind of switch that up a little bit. So now I usually like will get home, and it's like, hey, like, do you got the kids for like an hour and a half? She's like, I got you. And so I'll come here, and Monday through Friday, I'm doing like a 3-day split, like upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body kind of thing. And then I throw in like some cardio at the beginning and at the end, just to like I'll run a mile at the beginning and the end. And then weekends are just kind of like whatever I can get in. If it's a lifting session, it's a lifting session. If it's like, hey, a time crunch, like I'll ride my bike or I'll go for a run. I try to swim once a week, and usually weekends are the easiest for me. So Sundays are usually like my swim day. So and then I was doing jiu-jitsu up until I started this triathlon, and that was thrown in there too. So like that was a lot. Like I was either working out in the morning and then at night doing jiu-jitsu, and it was like beating me up. And so when I signed up for the triathlon, I was like, putting too many eggs in a basket. I got to kind of choose, and so I kind of backed off on that. And I got a notification today like, we haven't seen you since April 17th, and I was like, well, got a lot going on.
Yeah. Okay, so you have all this energy, you do all these things. How much food do you eat? A lot of food.
So I am sitting in a truck a lot, which sucks. So I kind of I don't eat breakfast, but I do. Yeah, it's a tough one because what happens is if I eat breakfast, the next thing you know, I'm already at like 1,200 calories by lunchtime because I eat breakfast and I'll have a snack and then this and that. It like the train starts going. So I kind of intermittent fast until like, I don't know, 11:30. Lately, I've had to break it because like I am hungry and I can't make it. But I don't fully fast. Like I do drink collagen, and then I'll drink. Right now, I've been taking colostrum for the last like 6 months, just kind of testing it out. So I am getting like some calories. But then like my lunch every single day is at least 500 plus calories, and then I usually will just slow roll the snacks until then. But I try to eat about 2,800 calories is what I'm at right now. I track it on like MyFitnessPal. I could probably eat a little bit more. I'm noticing the weight is going down faster than the fat, and so I don't want that. I still need the muscle, So I think I'm gonna bump it up to like try to make myself eat 3,000 calories a day for a little bit. But it that's also hard too, because then it's like, well, I have to get all this food in during this time. But I try. But right now I'm sitting at like today I got another, I don't know, 1,200 calories I can eat because I skimped on my lunch, so we'll see. But yeah, answer your question. Sorry, long ramble.
You're good.
Probably like 2,800 calories is what I'm sitting at right now.
Did it take you a long time to figure out your caloric needs?
And even then, I don't know that. I really couldn't tell you. I'm not super duper strict right now. So like maybe if I had other goals, like hey, I need to make this weight, but I just know that if I eat less than 2,000 calories, I'm dead. And if I eat more, then okay, that's cool. But I try to do like high protein as well. So like if I'm pushing it, it's okay. I'm pushing it with protein, so like that's fine. So.
Do you take pre-workout?
I used to, but as you can see, very high energy, right? And so like if I go to the gym at 6 o'clock at night and I drink pre-workout, I'm not going to bed, and then that throws off the next day and the next day and the next day. So I actually took I haven't had any pre-workout for probably a year and a half. Wow. Yeah, I'll take I have it's called Santa Cruz medicinal or something like that. It's like or paleo, I don't know. It's on Amazon, and it's just like a L-theanine, like some carbs, a little bit of like salts, like electrolytes and stuff. Kind of, they kind of give you a
Make the
boost.
pump a little
Yeah,
better.
but no like caffeine or anything. So kind of help you kind of let's go, but I'm not like laying in bed like, man, I'm not tired anymore. So
Yeah. Do you supplement any of your protein? So is it like protein shakes or protein bars or anything like that?
yeah, so I take any kind of snack. Like I'm really in love with the Quest,
Oh, yes.
that whole line. It's like for me, bang for the buck kind of thing. So like I love like the Quest chips. I will eat those. Right now. I'm really in love with the protein cup or the Reese's. You know what I'm talking
They're
about?
so
Yeah, me and my
good.
wife go through those. But I try not to drink my protein. I like to eat the protein. You know what I mean? But I'll grab a Fairlife. Like I keep them in the house kind of thing. I'm kind of. I'm not lactose intolerant or anything, but it is kind of heavy on the stomach for me personally, and so I try not to drink it. But I do supplement it in that, like, if I'm eating a snack, I'm gonna also, like, especially at the gas station, they're pretty good at like having a decent like protein bar selection.
Yeah.
So like if I'm hungry and I'm wanting a snack, or if I'm feeling snacky or I want something sweet, I'm gonna get something that's gonna have some protein in it. That way I'm at least making some progress towards the goal.
Yeah. Did you know that you can buy the Quest products at Sam's and you can get like a big old box?
I did not. I don't ever look at we just go to Sam's for like trash bags and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I try to stay away from the snacks because I have a problem with fruit roll-ups.
Oh.
Yeah, if they're in my house, they will get eaten, and not just one or two. I will eat the whole box
Yeah.
in a night. Like it's a problem. My wife will wake up the next day and she's like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "I shouldn't have done it. That's what I shouldn't have done. It's just wrappers everywhere. It looks like my 2-year-old got into
Yeah.
it. Like it's crazy."
Well, the Quest bars are not by the snacks. They're
that's
like in their own
perfect.
area. But I think you can get like a box of 20.
See, there
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
They're by like the shakes, right? The protein shakes. I see. I don't think I've ever used the restroom at Sam's, and
Yeah.
so I think the restroom, like
It's
I kind
right
of,
there.
yeah, I usually just stop at like the Fairlife shakes. Oh, here we go,
Yeah.
and then kind of keep moving.
But yeah,
Interesting. I'm gonna go check those out.
yeah, it's nice to keep your
It
pantry
is.
full.
Yeah, for real. That's what I'm saying. I'll eat those things.
Yeah. How much meat do you actually eat? Like meat?
I would say meat is 80% of my diet. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not weighing. All I'm doing right now is like I kind of just input what I had on my Fitness Pound, just kind of like loosely. So I don't know like grams, but I would say like I don't know, 150 plus grams of protein. Like that's a snack for me is like, man, I'm hungry. Let me go get some ground beef. Like I'm gonna eat the
Yeah.
ground beef. Like today when I was coming home, right now I'm eating these Factor meals. I'm sure you've seen like their preview and
Yeah.
stuff. I gave them a little go. They're not too bad. They're actually pretty good. And I had an extra one, and so I heated them both up this morning. And so I'd already eaten my like pre-lunch at like 11:30 because I was gonna be coming in early.
Yeah.
And I was driving back, and I was like, man, I want like a snack. And so I just opened it up, and it was like a chicken breast. Like it's like
Yeah.
I eat meat all the time, and I kind of was on this whole like carnivore kick. Not that I wanted to do the carnivore diet, but I was like, vegetables are bad. And so I was just eating like nothing but protein, like all
Yeah.
the time. Like my meal, like if we made dinner, it was just like a steak or a chicken breast, or I would pull out the protein and like leave it all. It was silly. It was really silly.
Do you eat vegetables now?
I do eat vegetables now.
That's good.
I do eat vegetables now. They are good. There are some good vegetables for you
Yeah.
sometimes. I like cabbage a lot right now. That's my.
Yeah. I am going to ask you a couple more questions and then we'll go to commercial. My question now is, what is your proudest moment? What is something that you are done that you have done that you're proud of?
Two things come to mind. Personally, I was really proud when I graduated college because I had joined the military, did that whole thing, got out of the active side of things to join the Guard, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I had like a full-time job working 40 plus hours a week, supporting the family, and then I also was taking like 18-hour semesters, like I was knocking it out, and I got it done. So that, and then like other one is like proud dad moment, watching like my oldest, he's 13, he goes to Glenn here in San Angelo, watching him literally, he never played football before in his entire life, so he made the C team, which is like not the best team. Obviously, it's ABC, you know. And he like came home and he was like real beat up about it. And like I just told him, I was like, hey, dude, like if you want it, like this is what we can do. And so like we were throwing the ball outside, we were practicing, we were, you know, like I was helping him, like all this stuff. And then he comes running into the house and he was like, Dad. Oh no, I think he called me first and he was like all excited. He was like, Dad, like I got promoted to B team. I'm playing for B team now. And I was like, what? And so then I got to go watch him play. And so it was really cool to be like, you know, like I felt like I did that. Like I had not, obviously he did the work, but like I fostered and I was like, hey dude, like if this is what you want, I got you, like let's work towards it. So it was really cool. I was like, that's really awesome, you know, like to see like the fruits of your labor kind of thing.
Yeah. It's also, hopefully you get a lot more moments like that.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I feel like that's one thing that parents don't get a whole lot of is like, you can put in the work, but sometimes like you don't see
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially like when they're young, like it's so like you're like, man, like I'm trying, and then you do, like you're like, I have a 6-year-old who is like flourishing in school, and it's really, but at the beginning of the year she was not really good at reading. Like she was struggling to read, and we were like, whoa man, like I thought this was gonna be better. And like now she read like she got 100 points in AR, like this whole, like she made the party, which was like a big deal apparently.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool, you know, like, so yeah, like those moments are, I mean, honestly, like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. What is your biggest struggle right now?
Right now, probably like the work-life family balance. I'm at a point where I have a really good job, money's really good, but for me to continue, like I'm having to give a little bit more time. And then also like the kids are getting older, and like my wife is also getting a promotion, and it's just like there's a lot going on. And so struggle to figure out how to make it all balance and not feel like overwhelmed, you know, which is, you know, that's life, you know. But yeah, just really figuring, honestly, I was thinking about it today, like this is the first real workout I'll have, because I took I've been busy the last few weeks, and I didn't really, had we not been doing this today, I don't know that I would have worked out. And so like that's a real struggle, and I think that has to do with like, man, like I could just be at home with the kiddos, like I haven't really seen them that much, and then like, you know, like, so yeah, just my struggle right now is just figuring out how to make it all work, which, you know, I guess like everything in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah.
When you miss a workout, does it mess with your mental health?
Used to. I will, in the immediate, yes. Like the kid that my wife knows, the kids know, like, oh, Dad, like they don't sit there and like, oh my God, Dad, but they know like, man, why is Dad a little grumpy today? Or like, why is he a little agitated or whatever? And then it's like, oh, he didn't. I'm sure that like she knows, my wife knows, she'll say like, you didn't go to the gym today. Like, you know, you need to take a chill pill. It's not that big a deal. Mm-hmm. But it definitely helps, like for real, the mental, like 100%. Part of being like super high energy is also like I feel like there is a battery, and like I do have to drain the battery, because if not, then it's like all of this like and I'm sure there's like, you know, a psychiatrist out there that's called anxiety, dude,
yeah.
right? Like that's what that is. But you know, like yeah, it definitely helps. So when I miss it, it's like, man. And so like maybe that's why when you asked me like what is my struggle right now, that's what came to mind, is because like that is the immediate struggle right now, is dealing with all that extra, I guess, for lack of a better term, energy, anxiety, like whatever. So, yeah.
All right, you guys, we are going to cut to a commercial break, and we will be back soon. Welcome to Hera Health, an innovative women's health and aesthetic clinic created, well, by women. Hera Health specializes in hormonotherapy, aesthetics, PCOS, peri and menopause phases, postpartum, and weight loss. Now maybe you're questioning, why do I need to visit Hera? If you are exhausted, maybe you have low libido, you have some stubborn weight to lose, maybe you have painful periods, or you just don't feel like yourself, or maybe you're looking for a confidence boost. Hera Health should be your go-to place. When you enter those doors, you are greeted by like-minded women who understand your concerns and fears. Hera Health also offers aesthetic care like dermal filler, microneedling, medical-grade skincare products, and so much more. They also offer a wellness program to help with your workouts and nutrition. You can book your appointment online at herahealthpllc.com or give them a call at 325-238-7286. Healthcare for women by women. And we are back. All right, so if you will bring that gym bag
Okay.
around. So why is this, before you open it, why is this your gym bag?
Well, so this brand is called Mystery Ranch. They make backpacks for like hunters but also in the military. The one that they issued me like was a Mystery Ranch, and so I really like this like. You can't see, but some people will be able to
Yeah.
see. It's got like a tri-zipper kind of thing. So it
Oh.
kind of like it's nice for a gym bag because it's small, but like I can also, and then it's like made of the Cobra Dura, like super durable, water resistant, like, So yeah, I mean, I was just like, I liked this bag, and I had this bag in a bigger version that I carried all the time, jumped at it, the whole nine. And so like, I was like, I want the smaller version, and so I found it on Amazon. It was on sale, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. And so I've had this for like, I don't know, 5 years now.
No holes or anything?
No holes, thankfully. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the keychain?
It's Dragon Ball Z. I'm a nerd. It's the dragon from it's Shinron. I don't know if you know Dragon Ball Z. It's okay. You don't gotta pretend. No.
Okay.
It's from Dragon Ball Z. It was one of those things that came across my Instagram one night, and I was totally influenced, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks good to me."
It got you.
So it got me. They get me every time.
Okay, do you have snacks in your gym bag?
No, I don't carry snacks because what'll happen is I'll forget about them. They'll melt. I did for a long time. I had these fruit roll-ups, and then I had they're not in here anymore. And I had honey packets, like you know what I'm talking about, like for running, like if you're
Yes.
doing this. I had those in there, but they melted. Yeah, they melted. And luckily, they didn't melt through my bag or anything. But I went to pull out my headphones, and they were covered in like goop and stuff. And so I was like, oh man.
Don't lie,
So-
it was earwax.
It could be. I'm sure they're gross. I'm sure they're dirty. My headphones definitely need to be cleaned.
What is your favorite thing in your gym bag?
My favorite thing in my gym bag is, well, I would say like a generic, my headphones, right? Because everybody needs headphones. But my favorite thing is my racquetball. Or it's actually not a racquetball. It's like a rolly ball, roll your foot out on it. You can do your back, all that stuff. Like myofascial release is real. It helps a lot with me so that's my favorite thing. I keep it very cherished. For whatever reason, when I get my bag, I will like reach in and make sure no one stole it. So yeah, that or my goggles. I like my goggles pretty good. But yeah, the ball is my favorite.
Do you roll out every day? with it?
Yes and no. I would love, ideal self would say like, yes, I do
Yeah.
every day. No, I do not roll out every day. Now, if I go run, if I do, like after leg day, I get such bad DOMs, after like day 3 or whatever, I am like, oh my God, my legs are so sore. So I usually would try to roll the day after.
Yeah.
I have a foam roller at home. I have the Theragun, the whole 9 yards, and I'll try to like work those out. It doesn't really ever, it helps, but I'm still always sore. So
Yeah, just kind of
yeah, you
helps
just,
move.
exactly.
Yeah.
Less painful.
Yes. Do you have straps in your bag?
I do.
Yes. What kind of straps do you use?
So it's a brand called Hate Brand, or they're actually not Hate Brand anymore, but I'm trying to find them on over there. But they say like love to hate on them. They're just just lifting straps.
Yeah.
I should probably use them a lot more, is what I was saying.
Say, what do you use them for?
I should be using them when I do like any kind of like heavy like pulling movement, but usually I won't even pull them out unless I'm like deadlifting like over like 400 pounds for like reps kind of thing. That way I'm not really worried about my grip, and I can just kind of like really pull and stuff like that. I'm also terrified of pulling my biceps, so I try not to do like the mismatch unless I have to kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I should have asked this earlier, but what's the heaviest you can lift?
So right now, I would be lying to you, but like 3 months ago when I maxed out everything. My deadlift was 500-pound deadlift. My back squat was 365, and then my bench was 265. I think my bench has gone up since then. I have not pulled that heavy, but I was just pulling 425 for sets of 8. So I don't know. I never did the whole powerlifting thing or anything like that, but my goal was like I want a 500-pound deadlift, and then I want for sure like a 3-plate, back squat. So I, like 315, just kind of went from there. I'm pretty sure I had videos somewhere of me doing like a box squat with like 465, like 2 years ago when I was trying to be like all big and juicy and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So but I can actively I can tell you like 500-pound deadlift, 365 back squat, and like a 265 bench.
That's
So.
good. That's good. That's heavy. Okay, so what else do you carry in your gym bag?
I have The water bottle, you must. I have my jammers for swimming, my goggles for swimming, the swim cap because I have long hair right now, and then I have my knee sleeves, both knee sleeves, and then my lifting belt because the ones here either don't fit or they can't get, or they are too tight or whatever, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I have a neoprene, like a Rogue neoprene one, so it's just more for support, less for actual the hard leather ones. So if I can't lift it without throwing out my back, I'm not gonna lift it.
I do have a question about your swim cap.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it on and you get in the water and you take it off, is your hair wet?
Yeah, your hair does get wet. Yeah, so that's so funny you ask me that. My oldest, he swims too. And I finally talked him into buying a swim cap because his hair is always in his face and stuff. I was like, dude, just wear a swim cap. Everybody else is doing it. I'm too cool. He finally did it, and he was like, Dad, my hair still gets wet. And I was like, yeah, dude, it still gets wet. So, I mean, especially you have long hair.
Yeah.
Unless your head is shaved, it's going to leak on the edges. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not it's tight, but it would have to be really, really tight because your hair is still going to let water through. So the top of your head would probably be relatively dry unless you were in the pool for hours. But the side, 100% on the sides will be wet and stuff like that. So
Why do you wear a swim cap?
to keep your hair out of your face and to make you more aerodynamic. That's the thing, how dudes will shave their whole body and stuff like that. I guess, if you're in the Olympics and you're Michael Phelps and a 16th of a second,
Yeah.
But yeah, mine is solely because when I started swimming, I mean, I didn't really have long hair. I'm especially as an adult, I was in the military, and then honestly, I just got these swim caps in January because my hair was starting to get longer and longer, and the whole time I'm just pushing it out of my face. So yeah, I wear it to keep it out of my face.
Oh.
Because if not, it's
Yeah.
just in my eyes.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to get into some rapid fire questions. So let me pull those up real quick.
Oh, you pre-wrote them?
They are rapid fire questions are questions we have asked since season 1.
I like that.
It goes into every single episode, and it's mostly.
This is very professional too, by the way, for you listeners out there. She sent me perfect information. I was ready to exactly how this was going to work and what to kind of expect. It was fantastic.
I'm glad you say that because honestly, I feel like I could be a lot more.
No, I think it's great, and it didn't feel overbearing because maybe if you did it some more, some people may feel that way, But no, I felt it gave me a sense oh, okay, well, that's what I can expect. Let's go. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. How much protein do you eat a day?
Right now, probably 100. I try to do a pound of protein, or a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So right now I'm 185, 89-ish pounds, depending on which day it is. So realistically, 180 grams of protein a day would be a great day if I could do that, especially right now with my schedule. But yeah, I'd say 150 to 180.
Yeah. What is your favorite lift or exercise?
Oh, I love the snatch, the power snatch, from the ground. I did CrossFit for a little bit, and so I kind of fell in love with Olympic lifting. I just like the way you look when you you land it. It feels really cool.
It's exploding.
It's yeah, and you're yeah, look at me, I did it. It's pretty cool.
How come you don't do CrossFit now?
Time. I mean, I just have so much stuff going on. You got to go to certain class. I can only do this class. I need to be able to come when I can get it. Yeah, just whenever I can go, kind of thing.
Yeah. What is your least favorite exercise or lift?
Burpees.
Ooh.
Hate them. Bane of my existence.
In season 2, I can't remember the exact number, but we looked up the world record for burpees in an hour.
Disgusting.
Insane.
Yeah, I did a burpee mile in selection. So I went to Special Forces selection, and we had a pre-course called SOPSI. It's just preparatory course. But anyways, they made us do a burpee mile. I'm not joking, you could only move forward in the form of a jumping burpee. I watched grown men cry, include myself.
Yeah.
I was crying. I'm the grown man.
I feel like
It was tough. It was rough.
I don't want to do that.
Burpees. So I hate them. I hate burpees. They are the bane of my existence. Yeah.
You have a very valid point for that. Okay, so when you look in the mirror, what is your favorite muscle on you?
I really like my traps, because they were non-existent until recently, like for real, like until like this year. And I mean, I've always trained back, I've always tried, but for whatever reason, like I don't know if it just finally, maybe I'm eating enough, I don't know, but I like now I can actually see my traps popping up, and I'm like, oh, look at that, look at those traps, man. So yeah, I'd say my traps.
Yeah. All right.
They're not big, by the way. Just they're not, but they're nice.
You like them.
Yeah, I like them. That's all that
what's
matters.
important.
It's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. What is one thing that you eat or drink every single day?
Every single day I have. So I read this book by, oh my goodness, Aubrey Marcus, and he talks about having a mineral dense liquid in the morning. And so every single day without fail, I even bring it with me on trips especially for the last like 6 months, I take 12 ounces of water, I mix it with a scoop of electrolytes, like a salt-based electrolyte, with a scoop of colostrum, with a scoop of creatine, and every single day without fail, first thing in the morning. That's before I even drink water, before I have any kind of caffeine, anything. That's what I'll drink. So.
Do you notice a difference?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm more hydrated because I'm getting first thing in the morning. I really enjoy creatine. Like I like the way it feels. Like I do 5 milligrams a day or whatever it is. Like that when I drink that little in the morning, I feel better. Like I'm like, oh, okay, because like my body is not getting slammed with caffeine right off the bit. So I mean, it may all be
in your head.
Yeah, but I feel better. So
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
What is something you do intentionally every day?
I intentionally make it a point to speak kindly to myself. Self-talk is really, really big, and I've realized that I can sometimes be really, really, really bad and hard on myself, but so kind and loving to everybody else. And it's like, I really intentionally work on like speaking kindly to myself about everything, like how I'm handling things, how I look, like the whole 9 yards.
It takes a long time.
It takes a long time. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Do you read or listen to audiobooks?
I do.
What are you currently reading?
I'm listening to Bad Therapy by Ashley Schneer, something like that. It's her second book. It's about just the over-therapying, if that's even a word, of the youth in America, and how we're seeing kids kind of self-diagnosing, oh, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have this, when it's actually just dealing with just understanding the difference between clinical and like, oh, I'm anxious because I have a test and my boyfriend broke up with me and like, my friends aren't being nice, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's actually pretty interesting. I'm halfway through it. I'm listening to the audiobook right now, and so I really am enjoying it so far. It's very, very interesting.
That sounds interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
And insightful.
It is. It makes you can say some smart things when you listen to it.
What time do you wake up?
5:30.
5:30. What time do you go to bed?
Well, not right. Lately, been doing good about 9:30.
Yeah.
But there was a long stint where I was like, I am part of the sleepless elite. Like I have that gene. I don't need a lot of sleep, and so like sometimes I'd push it to like 11:30, 12, and then still wake up at 5:30, and then wonder why I hate the day and like why I'm so tired and why the gym is so tough and like why the kids are on my nerves. Like, well, I'm tired, bro.
Yeah.
So
Get your sleep.
gotta get the sleep.
If you had your own gym, what is your number one must-have?
Number one must-have. Are we talking about anything?
Anything. If you could,
I like the sauna. I think that a gym is a gym, but I think I use the sauna every single day, like when I'm in the gym, and so I stand for it. I like it, and so like I would say like that sets most. If you don't have a sauna and then all of a sudden you have a sauna, you're kind of set apart. Like you're gonna make a gym. Like when I think of a gym, like it's either gonna look like this or it's gonna look like a CrossFit box or something like that. But a sauna is like a must-have.
If you could give anybody in your life, could even be a stranger, honorable mention, who would it be and why?
I would say, so Keith Lane, he is the police patrol sergeant. He just got promoted here in San Angelo. He has no idea, but when I was 20, when I was 21 or whatever, I came home and he had like this like Krav Maga like training for like 2 weeks, and so I went every single day. And for whatever reason, it just like kind of sparked like a sense of like discipline in me that then led to other stuff. And then later on, I didn't see him for years. He wasn't a cop at the time. And then he became a cop, and I started doing jiu-jitsu. And like he doesn't know that he's been like a weirdly like a mentor to me, and he has like no idea. So like if you ever see this, Keith Lane, thanks, bro. Like so.
Somebody tag him.
Yeah, tag him in here.
If you had an extra 60 minutes in your day, what would you do with it?
Man, I feel like you could conquer the world in an extra 60 minutes. If I had an extra 60 minutes in the day, I would probably split like 30 minutes, add 30 minutes to the beginning of my workout so I can get it done quicker, and then add 30 minutes to the end of the night so that way I have more time to like spend it with the kiddos. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like split that. Make us have 25 hours in a day. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. That way I could work out more and take care of myself better, but also spend more time, and that gives more time in the middle. Yeah. You know what I mean? For the family stuff, the work stuff, whatever.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Okay, I have one more question for you, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
If you could give advice to anybody listening right now, what is the best advice that you could give?
The hard day was yesterday. Whether it was not that hard or kind of hard, it was yesterday. And if you focus on that, you're never going to make it till tomorrow. So just yesterday was the hard day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I guess that kind of goes along with like never give up. Like, you know, like there's always grass on the other side. The sun is out there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Like yesterday was the worst day. You know, and then if you can only get better from here kind of thing.
Nobody else has said that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yesterday is the worst day. It's kind of, that's, you know.
All right. Do you have any last words?
No. This was really cool. Thank you for, I mean, you made a post, and I was like, I would love to do it, and now I'm here, and so, like, it's cool. I feel kind of honored. Like, I'm nobody special, and I know that this is just kind of everybody is welcome kind of thing, but it feels cool. Like, this is cool, so thank you.
Those are my favorite kind of episodes, though, are the ones where I'm like, does anybody want to?
Yeah. Well, I had to follow Aubrey Trufant. Like, I was like, dang. I saw that recording. I was like, oh, my gosh. Not that, I mean, he's a cool guy. I know him. His brother did my tattoos. But I was like, dang, like, that episode is going to be talking about cool stuff. Like, he's a tattoo artist. He's got lots of cool stories. And I was like, man. So, but no, this is really cool. And I'm glad. Thank you for letting me do this. Like, this is awesome.
We're not even done with this episode, and I plan on having you back.
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, this has been really fun. Yeah. It's been easy, which I was concerned about. I was like, oh my gosh, like I ramble, I talk a lot, I'm a lot. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. So this has been cool. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you guys, make sure you download, like, and subscribe, or leave us a review. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Have a beautiful day, friends. Bye.